I've hear like for like almost like 10-15 years that FXCFD industry is dying. This common misconception. When you like go to the cloud, your cost will increase 3 times. I think right now the market is so competitive that marketing part it became more important than the trading part. You cannot build like right now broker with like with
$10,000. Welcome to your Bourse podcast, where industry insights meet strategies for your bottom line. I'm your host, Elina Pedersen, the co-founder and CEO of Your Bourse, the fastest matching engine and execution technology in the retail FX and CFD space. And today, I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Aytugan Khafizov, CEO and founder of FastMT. Aytugan's impressive career ranges from being a CTO of Alpari Group from the first day Alpari was launched, and then later on being the CIO of MetaTrader, a company that needs no introduction. I'm really excited to chat to Aytugan today about the infrastructure of the brokers and in general the MetaTrader infrastructure that brokers need to maintain. You need to buckle up for this one as it's going to be tech heavy. Welcome, Aytugan.
Hi, good morning, Elina. Nice to see you. Thank you for welcoming on your podcast. Yeah, ready to
Fantastic. Now,
help
I
out.
always know that our conversations are very insightful. You're my go to technical person of anything in regards to MetaTrader. But before we start, can you just please tell me how did you get into the financial industry?
Basically, at that time, so you should go like back into 1999, like when the computer does just start penetrating into the companies. There were like little internet in our like hometown, and I was studying in university, and I did some like computer tech things in university, and I was spotted by someone who was in charge. There was like investment company in that building, so they asked me to join like for the like part-time job to help them with the computer system, and it was very interesting because they have, first of all, they have a lot of modern computers, they had a lot of technologies, and they had dedicated internet line. So it was very fantastic. Yeah,
Because usually it was dial up, right?
yes, usually it was dial-up, and this was the and this company also have their own like satellite channel.
Oh, wow.
Yes, with the internet. Yeah, it was this building had about like I think 6 meter satellite dish on top.
It's okay. All right. So, and you joined that company or?
I was joined that company, and then I was picked up by Alpari. So when they started FX trading
Okay.
in
Well,
1999.
yes, Alpari is often seen as, well, the founding MetaTrader broker that brought MetaTrader into the Western Europe. Because as I know, MetaQuotes and Alpari originated from Kazan, where you're also from. How did the infrastructure of a broker evolve from 1999 to today?
Yeah, in 1999. So it was basically I mentioned this satellite dish. So we had another satellite dish to receive prices from broadcast, and we have
Okay.
at that time company was working with IG and use IG as liquidity provider, and they were like voice dealing, and then after
Pick up the
yes,
phone.
pick up the phone and call London office.
Okay.
And then IG introduced like the small, let's say like internet dealing chat
Okay.
where you can press like request button and it will display like open position and you can make a trade over chat.
That's evolutionary,
Yes,
revolutionary,
revolution technology. Yeah.
revolutionary. Yeah.
Yes, and then also Alpari had like back office program written on Delphi, which calculated basically split the trades between the client.
Okay, and then from there,
And what is important, when the client made the trade, he was given a paper then to sign it.
okay, all right. Well, reconciliation,
Yes,
confirmation,
yes.
yeah. Okay, and then how did it migrate into more of a click button infrastructure?
Yeah, basically, when the company started introducing that electronic trading platform, there was like concern that client would prefer to dial the operator, the human,
To have a chat.
to have a chat, yes, to have a call and then make a trade. But after the like it was launched, It was launched first to like on-prem, like without the internet, because as I said, the internet was not really like reliable. And then like we see that most of like trades, the volume, they migrated to the electronic platform rather than
And that was Meta charts
it
or
was FX chart. It was the first generation of the platform, so we skipped that. So it was Meta Quotes 1.0.
all right. And then obviously it was Meta Quotes 2 or
It was Meta Quotes 2, then it was MetaTrader, then it was MetaTrader again, I think 2 and 3, and then 4.
and now at MetaTrader 5.
Yes.
Do you think there will be MetaTrader 25?
So that what's happening, like how the industry evolved over that time in like back in 99, like 2000, the software to build some software, like to build some system, it was like from one side it was difficult because you have to build it, let's say, from scratch. You don't
Yes.
have like ready-made units. However, the complexity since that time, complexity has evolved,
Mhm.
and complexity is increased 100 times. And I think there will be, you see, like how industry migrated from MetaTrader 4 to 5 because of the APIs, because of the people get used to it. So I don't think that there will be another new generation of the MetaTrader.
Mhm.
They might change the version, but it will be, like it will be compatible. It will be like for example, like I was doing that. So it will be automatically transition from one version to another. But there will be no like I don't think there will be a next generation MetaTrader, which will be completely different because it took a long time, almost a decade, for MetaQuotes to migrate brokers from 4 to 5.
So it's more of like replacing certain components within
It's
MetaTrader
it's
5 than actually rewriting the
yes.
whole thing.
Yes. So right now it is absolutely not possible to replace the software.
So from your experience, what were some of the biggest technological challenges back then, and what are some biggest technological challenges today?
Like before, all challenges were to build something that did not exist yet.
Mhm.
And when you're building something that not exist yet, you don't know
There is no
how.
know-how.
Yes, you don't know how it should look. You don't know what you will get, and that's why, like in old times, like each broker have their own like in-house tech team, and they're building something. Right now, it is much easier to build something because you have a lot of ready-made block, you have a lot of open source technologies that you can leverage, and you can have like in-memory databases, you can have like NoSQL databases, like you can have like pops up like services, whatever. You can implement like you can take an engine and implement your OMS straight away. However, right now you need to support significantly more requirements.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
You can compare cars back to, let's say, 1995 and right now.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I guess there's a lot more electronics in the cars nowadays.
Exactly. Basically, the engine, even engines are evolved. Like, and what is important that like 25 years ago, user uh, can can like the demand was so high. So if you give any functionality, users will use it. Right now, you need to give like reporting, you need to give nice UI, you need to educate users, you need to make it less complicated because users don't want to learn,
Mhm.
etc., etc. Yeah, basically you can see like Bloomberg, for example. If the Bloomberg will launch today, there will be no chances for that
Of
product.
course, it's a lot more competitive. There are a lot more options out
It's
there.
not about only competitors. It's about if you see it right now with like in the car with like which is like 25 years old, like you would expect, like some buttons on screen. You expect like Google Maps on your like screen, whatever.
I always wonder, when you see this, especially in the UK, there's so many enthusiasts and people who love old cars and they drive in these 30, 40-year-old cars and you look at them and you're like, I would not feel safe driving in that car on the motorway right now because
Yes.
there is nothing in there that can protect you if something happens. And it doesn't have to necessarily be you,
Mm-hmm.
it can be someone
Mm-hmm.
else. I guess it's the same in technology, really, because a lot of companies operated without brakes and just general and seatbelt, if that makes
Yes,
sense.
yes, exactly, exactly.
So I'm just wondering because you did spend what an odd 15 years at Alpari,
Mm-hmm.
and then you joined MetaQuotes. So you've seen the industry from both the trading
Mm-hmm.
platform side of things, and the brokers infrastructure, and from MetaQuotes within. How did your experience at MetaQuotes shaped your understanding of what brokers really need?
Actually, it was the other way
The
around.
opposite.
Yeah.
Okay, the other way. Okay, fair
So I
enough.
spent like 4 years in MetaQuotes explaining to the people, like from the customer support to the marketing to the management, what actually broker does.
Okay, fair enough. So there is this lack of knowledge, or was that lack of knowledge back in
Lack
the
of
day?
real knowledge. So because they didn't have like a real direct knowledge, so they either have to guess
Hmm.
or they either have to they like when designing the product they assume what actual broker does.
Okay, from their position in the world, and they make the best assumption.
Yes, yes.
But in product development, well, at least at your Bourse, I can only
Mhm,
speak for
mhm,
your Bourse because that's what we
mhm,
do. We do engage with our clients in a lot of conversations, right? To understand how they would like the tool to work, or what they would like to achieve with
mhm,
certain tools, and what is the real business case and business
mhm,
needs. And then our product owner will sit down and draft best proposal that we have for that product, and it will be shared across, let's say, 10
mhm.
brokers, just to make sure that we actually understand what we're developing. I guess that's the standard
No, not
product
for
management.
MetaQuotes. Not for MetaQuotes. MetaQuotes have the very unique
Okay,
way
fair.
of doing products, and so. But yeah, you cannot judge it
Because
because
they
yeah.
are they are revolutionized the industry. They have revolutionized the industry. I
Mhm,
completely
mhm,
agree with that. Maybe that's the
mhm.
reason. So from IT perspective, do you think it's easier or harder to set up a broker today versus 25 years ago?
It actually it's easy and harder in this at the same time, because it's easy because you have a lot of ready-made blocks available, so you can just buy it, so you don't need to build it, you don't need to invest like your time and your energy into that, so you can go like to the market and buy it. And what is more important, you also can hire people who used to work with that technologies, which is also important. However, as I said, complexity increased a lot, and you cannot build like right now broker with like with you know
$10,000.
it's not about the money. You cannot build it like with trading platform with the like matching engine and like the risk system. You need a lot of it's like the cars. You cannot have a car with like the engine, like the frame, the wheels and the brake and the steering wheel.
Yeah, fair
You
enough.
have to have, like with the broker, you have to have like marketing automation system. You have to have like a lot of marketing system which actually drive your technology. Because I think right now the market is so competitive that marketing part it became more important than the trading part.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I completely agree. And otherwise, the day you were born will
Hmm.
be the day you die if you'll try to minimize the
Hmm.
systems. But I guess it's also easy to overspend. So I'm just wondering, in your opinion, what's the minimum viable infrastructure for an MT4, MT5 broker today?
Minimum viable infrastructure for the if we're taking out CRMs and all everything related to the acquisition, that in order to deliver service to
Well,
client.
unless you'd like to share that as well,
No, no, no,
we're
no,
all
no.
ears.
I'm not an expert in this
We're all
domain.
ears, me neither.
Yeah. So right now you need to have your like matching engine, trading platform, and some kind of risk system. This is the minimum viable product.
And for each of those, you need to make sure it's hosted correctly. You need to
You
make
need to know
sure.
it's hosted, it's monitored, it's operated, it's maintained correctly, and you need and your staff is trained to use it. I know a lot of enough examples of brokers which misuse the system or like use it only like for like 5%, or like the owner like bought the system but personnel don't use it as much.
And in which way do you think each of those blocks should be used? What is the full capacity of it that you'd expect from every component?
Because we are talking about trading, so
Mhm.
it starts from head of trading or head of risk.
Okay.
So first of all, this person should exist, and second person, this person should be smart enough to understand how his company making money, and then basically this guy will be able to design these order flow, the different business models, different risk models, and then for these models you can like find most relevant, like bridge, liquidity provider, trading platform, and so on.
And from the backbone perspective of it, what would you be looking at to optimize when you set up that broker
Look,
as a CTO?
because I have more experience with MetaTrader, with MetaQuotes ecosystem. So yes, it would be like MT5 and and the bridge and like the risk management system. Alpha, and I forgot reporting.
Like regulatory
Not
reporting
reg-
or
no, reporting which is relevant to the business, so you know like how much company like earned on each segment.
but
I mean
that's
this,
either bridge or risk management if you look at it, right?
it need to be aligned with your like execution model. So all like bridges and the trading platform, they have capability for reporting, but brokers don't have a lot of brokers don't have enough discipline to to clean up their like client base. Like the easiest example is like negative balance protection. So a lot of companies have like clients which went negative, and it's kind of in the B book it will be calculated as a broker's profit, but it is not, because you cannot like recover this loss from the client.
So it pollutes the bottom line ultimately when you look at reports. So it's not just about having the tools,
No,
it's
no,
also
it's
making sure that the data is accurate,
yes,
right?
exactly. The data is accurate. Like you don't have like the test account in the same way as a like real account. Your like IPs like relations also like cleaned up, so you know how much you pay and it should be in the system, and etc. etc. If you have this cleaned up, yeah, you can understand how your like broker is performing.
So what would be the most common mistake for setup, for brokerage setup that you see or come across today, like in your day-to-day role?
I would say mistake. I'm not taking if we are not looking on the situation when you have like sometimes like you company have multiple like generations of like staff turnover, like of the risk team, of like the tech team, and you after a few years you might not understand like how this company is operating and how systems are set up. So this is just like lack of controls. If you are talking about mistakes, the common mistakes I see is I would say, do not people don't understand uh, how to choose the right size of infrastructure or technology for their brokerage. Like one easiest, like the typical one of typical mistake is people, they broker is growing, evolving,
Yeah.
and they building like technology. For example, like I can use an analogy, like they building two-store houses on top of each other, and you cannot build the skyscraper by like putting two-store houses on top of each other.
When the fundamentals is wrong, then you'll need to just
Fundamental, like if you it's not about fundamentals, it's about design. To design to store house, you don't need you can do
underpinning.
it. You can do it by yourself, because you've seen a lot of houses, and most likely if you will build your house without any prior knowledge, it will stay. But you cannot build a skyscraper just by seeing other skyscrapers. You need to study that.
Yeah, you need to be an architect
Yes,
and an
exactly.
engineer.
Yes, you need to study fundamentals, and
Okay.
then you can design it. So this is like the typical like mistake.
So, but
One side of this is mistake, and there are another side of mistake. When broker is too small, they hire someone from the from the big guys, and
from the skyscraper.
yes, and he's trying to build this like the small two-store skyscraper
Okay.
with a lot of associated costs, and a lot of operational expenses. I mean, not only expenses of in like money wise. I mean, you need to have a team to support it.
It has to be adequate,
It
right?
has to be adequate to the size of the broker, and broker need to the brokers, if they grow, they need to plan to replace their like small houses with a skyscraper. And as I say, you cannot like change, you cannot like redesign your houses as a skyscraper. Basically, you need to just destroy it.
Wipe it down.
Yes, exactly. You need to build like the skyscraper and then like move your business to this one and then destroy the old houses. So this is the only way, unfortunately, in
It
this in
is,
the software.
but it is so difficult, and I can understand, I can relate to it, because very often, so we've been growing rapidly, for example, and I always use a metaphor. I say, before, like a few years back, we were trying to roll, a massive stone ball up the hill, and now it starts rolling down the hill, and we're running behind it, trying to catch up with it and make sure, it's not gonna, and no one is gonna get into trouble, kind of thing. But I guess it's like when you're scaling a business, you would face
Yeah,
that.
you basically you cannot do like scale of your like business in the same way as scale of your technology. It should be like one step and then another step.
Yeah,
And you should plan another step because you cannot just jump on one foot.
exactly. That's how we ultimately do it. But I guess so. With FastMT, you are the architect of a skyscraper, or are you the the builders of the skyscraper? What's your role in this?
What is FastMT role? Basically, we're helping with the brokers to choose right technology, right size of technology, and to to achieve the current business goal of the broker.
So to actually choose it and implement it, right? To
Uh,
source it as well.
Correct. Yeah, we prefer to implement it. And at least so what we are good at, so we are good at building the infrastructure out of the ready-made blocks. And we know how to maintain these blocks. And we know what kind of blocks is size it to the brokerage of that level.
Is there like a must-have list of things you're checking? For example, I know that you can advise on hosting. What would you be looking at, and what would you advise? And would you say, oh, and that's a completely different matter, but I know there is a lot of arguments between cloud versus bare metal, things like that. Do you have like a checklist of what you think is reasonable in general, like for as a
It really depend. It really depend on the. You need to look at broker as like the whole. I mean,
Mhm.
if this broker doesn't have like any other in-house technology, if they don't have like in-house team, if we are managing that, of course we prefer bare metal because it's simple, it's reliable, and we have people who know how to maintain it. However, if you, for example, if you're running like international broker with like 500 people and they have like very heavy cloud infrastructure, it might be wise for you just to continue to host your like platform in the cloud, just to be the same as other.
Okay.
So you
So
have
just to find the integrity of your broker's infrastructure.
exactly because you already have like your like security policies operated in the cloud. You have like security team, you have the infra team, you have like a lot of already have a lot of processes, and introducing the bare metal into that ecosystem will you know
Complicated.
will complicate it.
But what are the pros and cons of cloud versus bare metal?
Like bare metal is like low latency. Obviously, you get more output from, let's say, $1 invested. The cloud benefits that you can like increase capacity of the server on each weekend with just one click of the button.
Or you can automatically scale up as
No,
well, but that's expensive.
you cannot automatically scale up of
No?
the trading platform.
Oh no, not the trading platform, of course. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, for the trading platform, yeah, because the moment like you scale, it will kill the old server, and
Well, it will keep going.
yes, so you'll have a downtime. So that's why you can do it only on weekend. Yeah, so that before, like, you know, like 15 years ago, like 10 years ago, public clouds like AWS or like Google, like Azure, so they just started and they had problems with the storage.
Hmm.
Storage was slow, and because MetaTrader is and storage was like detached, so it was remote, so the latency to the storage was huge, and because of that, MetaQuotes did not recommend it to host MetaTrader in the cloud. Right now, you can like rent fast SSD drives. The latency is like basically reduced, and yeah, you can compensate the let's say slowness of the cloud storage by just buying more premium storage.
And so I know that we are bare metal
Mhm.
latency. The main
Mhm.
reason is that we always want to minimize the latency. How much does hosting in cloud affect latency?
Of course, you know, so that all like trading ecosystem, they mostly collocated in like Unix data centers, and like your like mention engine and like other matching engines also in these Equinix data centers, and because of that you have latency like less between 1 millisecond between each like components, and like and why uh, they all like concentrated in Equinix. It started I think in 2005, maybe like 7 8, is because the Equinix they provided the infrastructure for the cross connects, so
And with the
everyone.
banks being there
Yes,
as well.
yes. Not at that time, banks were not
Not yet
there,
there.
not
Okay.
yet there. So the banks had the matching engine in the headquarters, and they
Okay.
started migrating to Equinix like and LD4 and Y2, I think in 2010, like kind of. So they either migrating or they start migrating to the new like OMS as the matching engine that.
I remember we had to take a rack in LD4 because our PB was in LD4. But that's like, we're talking, as you said,
Yes.
2011.
Yes. And clouds, in order to save the cost, they don't host in Equinix. So they host somewhere else. And there will be obviously latency from the Equinix like Metro to the AWS, for example. So it will be
Network latency, right? We're
network
talking network.
latency. We are talking about network latency because just it distance from the Equinix. So we are talking about like around like 2 extra milliseconds.
So, what latency should brokers take into account when they're designing their infrastructure? Obviously, it's the network latency, but is there any other latency they should be?
Of course, they should, when they design the infrastructure, they should think where are the clients.
Hmm. Okay.
Because if the clients like in Asia, so they need to take it into account. And for these clients who are trading from Asia, extra like 2 milliseconds will be nothing, obviously.
They're doing another, what, 120, depending on where they
Yes,
are?
120, like up to like 200. And in this case, if your client base is in Asia and server is like say in London, doesn't need to be. And from it actually it depends where your order will be executed.
So,
If
it's the door-to-door latency that you should be looking at, right?
door-to-door latency, and especially where your order will be executed in the trading platform or in the matching engine, because normally all like matching engines they are already close to LP.
Because you don't want any execution on off-market quotes, right?
Exactly, exactly.
And what happens if you execute within the trading platform?
Within the trading platform, basically you can have a situation of the latency arbitrage where someone is close to your server and having fastest prices than you.
Do you see that a lot?
Right now, actually no. So before, like 10 years ago, it did happen. Right now, I think they're more or less the same.
I think the brokers in general, at least from our experience, they understand it a lot better now. Before that, you would even need to explain what access server is and why you need an access server. I feel now brokers they take it as given. They know that they need to have it. So I feel that the conversations are a lot easier today than it used to be 10 years ago.
Probably.
So how does regulations affect the infrastructure of the broker or design of an infrastructure of a broker?
Of course, it depends on regulator, like MiFID, for example, or like FCA. They have more strict rules. So right now we have like DORA Act for the European brokers. So it affects like regulation. You need to demonstrate to the regulator that you first of all on top of your infrastructure. So it is managed and controlled.
Mhm.
You need to have some like policies. You need to have like backup policy, disaster recovery policy. For example, like for us, like we're doing like a quarterly failover from to the big application, like every quarter with documentation, so like you can provide it to the regulated client. Of course, like you need to have like reg reporting. This is how like regulations affect technology. Yeah, I think I can add like unfortunately like European like NFC like regulators, so they shifted the business offshore.
Yeah.
And right now, like before like 15 years ago, like people were able to trade on European like regulated broker with good enough leverages
And be
and be
protected.
protected.
Yeah.
Right now, you can. I think the regulator choose the approach that the best protection is to completely like make it so safe that no one will feel traded.
I think it's more about like this is not my problem any
Exactly.
longer, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Call Mauritius or whichever Mauritius.
Yes.
Call St. Lucia. So just curious. So what is the most one misconception you often see brokers have about MT5 technology?
It basically the most of MT5 misconception was from non-MetaTrader brokers that like the system like lacks some like functions. Like the first misconception was it doesn't have like connectivity, so you
Okay.
cannot like execute trade. But it did change. So right now I don't see a lot of misconceptions. So right now it's more like adequate.
Okay. Is there a myth that you would like to debunk about MetaTrader?
Basically that actually it still exists, and I still get it from like from like stocks and futures traders that all like MetaTrader brokers are like bucket shops. So it still exists.
Okay. Do you think it has to do with FX and CFDs or just the regions that MetaTrader emerged from?
I don't know. I think it will exist because what I see like these trading communities, they do not overlap, and they have their own, so they have their own like technologies, so they have their own like leaders to follow, and they have their own definition what is good and what is not bad and what is bad.
You know, it's actually a very interesting idea because we do see a lot of brokers, MetaTrader brokers, because MetaTrader has that capability, trying to add futures and options and all sorts of instruments to their MetaTrader. So would you say that it's more for then clients who are already trading FX and CFDs, and if you're a futures broker, you would not consider MetaTrader as your main platform?
If you are futures trader, it is very difficult to kind of to provide services on the MetaTrader because they already used to another platform.
So it's more
Yeah, we
of a
have.
habit, right? Than
Yeah, basically I've seen. I even like was when I was like in MetaQuote, so we were helping like one of the American broker to adopt MT5. And they still operate, by the way, but it was very challenging.
because of the clientele, right? Because of their
No,
end
the
users.
ecosystem is completely different, by the way. I can explain like how like the like stock and futures ecosystem works in like in the MetaTrader. You have like trading platform, and you
Yes.
own this trading platform,
Yes.
and you have like GUI attached to this trading platform.
Yes.
In the States, the situation is completely different. Each broker have their own OMS, and it operated by someone, and they have like clearing broker, each operated by someone.
Yes.
And they have a trading platform GUI like NinjaTrader, like trading technologies,
Refinitiv.
whatever. Yes, Infinitive. And it works basically the client is this trading GUI vendor. They connect to the back office, to the OMS.
So they can log into any GUI they like, right?
Yes,
Ultimately.
exactly. And what is more important, this trading GUI, they provide customer support to traders.
Yes, right.
So that this American broker that he expected that MetaQuotes provide customer support to end users.
Well,
This
they
is
do in a way try to protect end users,
yes,
right? So
yes.
if we're honest.
This is the way how they operate, and you can see by the way that TradingView follow that business model.
And a lot of other front ends do as well. So we
Yes.
see some front ends emerging, such as
Mm-hmm.
Stickblaze, such as Logica.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, there is, it's called Black
Mm-hmm.
Arrow, and it's incredibly popular in LATAM. And they do exactly the same. It's just the front end,
Mm-hmm.
and they connect to, let's say, our trade server, and it's single account entry.
Mm-hmm.
And clients, like younger generation clients, love it because they're different tools
Mm-hmm.
and different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, a very logical question, I guess, since we've been discussing different front ends. So, which trading platforms do you see emerging right now?
Emerging, I would say, like TradingView basically, but it's already like the emerging, like
They're
for
emerged.
they
They're
already emerged.
emerged.
Yes,
What about TradeLocker?
we see popularity of the trade locker, but I think it is the root cause is that trade locker, how to say it politely, they don't have no restriction on
Fair
the
enough. On the
o-
brokers then board.
on the brokers on board and the regions where brokers will operate.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay.
So it's just matter of time when they will implement.
Soon, the more popular it becomes,
Yes.
the more. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, but everybody goes through the growth phase. They need to
Mm-hmm.
accept the
Mm-hmm.
clients that they can accept, I guess. There's still some brokers, from my experience, they really cling on to MetaTrader 4. Do you think it will continue being so, or do you think they will slowly start giving their license away and returning them to MetaGrids?
Look, we have like this year we have continuous demand on the transition migrating brokers from 4 to 5, and this is what we are doing. So we have like one project like happening like right now, so we did like few projects.
So you're
This-
just completely getting rid of MT4, right?
brokers, they, because meta quotes increasing prices, and what is more important when brokers doing time to time, they're doing restructuring, and when they transition client, let's say from one the entity to another, and they want to transition MetaTrader, they say, okay, but we cannot keep the older prices, so we upgrade you to the current prices. And current prices are higher than before multiple times. So, and we, because of that, we see demand that brokers want to reduce the MT4 footprint. It's all IB is already not a problem because right now all IBs, most of IBs, they know how to operate MT5, even in Asia, even like with Asian brokers. So we see them. I'm talking to brokers, and they consider MT5 as a let's say the core platform,
System.
core system, not MT4 how it was before. And they understand that the operation complexity of the MT4, because of a lot of limitations, is higher, and they want to switch to MT5 just because it's easy for them to operate.
Personally, I think that MT5 is a brilliant platform, and I didn't quite understand why brokers struggled to migrate over from 4 to 5, because it just solves so many operational issues, you know?
It is they struggle because they don't know how the MT4 operates in many time. This is like what we are helping to identify, like what need to be migrated, how it needs to be migrated, what tools you have. Because like in many cases when we like see the broker, they don't have no idea what is this group for example.
We briefly spoke about MetaTrader 5 and how it can be upgraded, right? But I'm just wondering, do you anticipate any changes with MetaTrader 5, especially with MetaQuotes investing heavily into Altency and Finteza? So they have other products now as well, not just the trading platform.
I would expect MetaQuotes trying to cover the whole like ecosystem, which like right now is like
Fragmented?
it's fragmented, and right now the problem is the MetaQuotes, so that they want to return the status quo which they had in 2005 when they launched. Basically, you can buy MetaTrader and you don't need anything else. So, and this is what they're trying to achieve. It is very challenging. So so like my MT5 have their own CRM. It had internal ECN even before like Altency. It MetaTrader has its own onboarding process with some kind of KYC check. Technically, MetaQuotes have all abilities, all like resources to make the all products for the ecosystem and displace everyone else.
Is it realistic? As you said, there are so many open source projects out there. There are so many
Uh,
building blocks.
I think the way basically the meta quotes choose is the most hardest. This is the hardest way, and this is the only limiting them.
Personally, I love the fact that they invest into those different projects because I think they are the ones who
Mm.
can introduce clients to new products,
Mhm.
right? Because they're, as you know, even 10 years ago, brokers didn't necessarily know that they need to have trading infrastructure, or they didn't necessarily know that they need to, I don't know, they
Yes.
need to analyze, do the analytics like Finteza and so on. And when then they introduce those products to
Mhm.
brokers, brokers start learning more about how they should be operating as a skyscraper,
Mhm.
right? So I personally think they're doing better for the industry and for the end user. Well, at least that's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So the more like competition, so it drives it improve the industry. The more competition you have, that's better. Yes, I hope that MetaQuotes will still, to allow third parties to operate in this ecosystem and will, like follow some ethical rules.
I'm sure they will. Right. So let's learn a little bit more about FastMT. So what are the services that you offer at FastMT?
As I say, like we are specialized in building infrastructure from the building blocks. So we don't build, like we don't build like matching engines, like CRMs. We don't build like bridges, whatever. But we know how to operate it. We know how to monitor it, and we built a lot of tools to operate this. Lot of internal tools, lot of monitoring, like our CTO. So he spent like a lot of time on the monitoring system and on the tools, on the building tools that we are using, and this allow us to do like operations like migrations from like one matching engine to another, from one like platform to another, efficient and in the scale.
I must say that our technical team absolutely loves working with your team, and they feel that they're incredibly professional and really understand the
Thank
product,
you.
which doesn't happen often
Mhm.
in this industry, unfortunately. But yeah, they absolutely love your team. So when you created FastMT, what problem did you decide, like, did you want to solve for brokers?
The problem at the time, MetaQuotes was starting like displacing the white labels and all of these white labels. So they got their own servers and they have no idea how to like
Operate.
operate it. And I've seen basically this as an opportunity. And because we already have that, we know like the team who can do it. So we just build the team and start doing it. So my idea was to create the what I did in Alpari with, let's say, to create processes right to the size of the company, not like overkilling like how it was back then days, and do let's say reason operations on the reasonable complexity and with common sense.
Okay. That sounds like a very good problem to be solving. So, speaking of those teams and the knowledge that brokers have, I often see brokers thinking that, we need to bring everything in house, including developing a bridge, which is quite an outdated perspective, as we've discussed just before. What do you see? Like, what's your opinion on it? Should brokers have infrastructure and trading operations, let's call it that, in house, or should it be outsourced?
What I can say, there should be a reason for each choice. So each choice should be made with considerations. What there might be some there might be reasons to keep it outsourced. There might be reasons to keep it full in house. It really depends on the broker, into the management, into the expertise, and where they want to be. I can say like we have clients who don't have any tech people like at all,
Mm-hmm.
and we have clients who have the MetaTrader like trading platforms administrator. So and we know like how to work with them, and it's even like better for us if we have someone inside the client who knows like all like stakeholders, who knows the problems, who can go and get the feedback if it's required, who can get all like necessary approvals, and who also can do some, let's say, meaningful work and create some value for his company by doing something different than other brokers, and we will take the routine. So for us, we provide like we can operate with like no in-house teams, or we can to the completely like to the another side where we don't touch any piece of infrastructure, and we act as external, let's say, advisory team, because we know generally more than typical like person like in-house. And by the way, this is very very important. What my observation from like being managing in-house team to right now managing doing outsource, when you hire the engineer in-house, you have to in order him to develop, you have to give them interesting tasks, interesting projects. In normal brokerage, you might have projects really like to build something new, like probably like once like 3 years, because you cannot build something new all the time.
Fair enough.
Yes, and being running multiple brokers, like our engineer, so he's growing at least 2-3 times faster than person in-house in the brokerage, because they see more clients, they see more challenges and they see like more faults, they see more problems, and they get more knowledge over the same period of time.
It's all about the expertise, isn't it? And this shared knowledge of the industry, we see that too. Because when you develop a technology, if you're developing it for 150 clients, you probably get a
Yes.
lot more requests than if you're developing it for one client.
Yes,
right?
it's exactly why why you should take product off the shelf. Regardless, this is my advice. If you want to build something, just buy it, adopt it, and then think if you want to kind of build it in house to reduce the cost. Because I've seen a lot of situations when people started building something and they might build it after 1 year. However, at that time, they might company, vision might change and company no longer need that.
So what are there any innovations or new services coming for FastMT?
It's difficult to say. Like we are thinking we have, as I say, like we have our monitoring system, we have our like internal tools, and we are thinking how to, give it out to other teams who operate trading platforms internally. Just because it is not cost efficient to have so that like monitoring guy for the full time.
So you could license it
Yes, you can
ultimately.
license it, but yeah, we are still at that process.
That would be a very good product, because we often clients often ask us about something like that. For our clients, we do give some parts of our internal monitoring, but if they could get it off the shelf, I guess they would be really happy. I always ask our guests about the future, looking ahead, and it's always the difficult one, because we used to look at like a 5 years horizon. Now the horizons are much shorter, right? Or it's not as far away. But what do you think would be the biggest changes in brokers' infrastructure in the coming years?
Yeah, very interesting question. So let's start like from like technical side. Technical side, I think there will be like the not let's start from the business side first.
Sure.
Yeah, I've hear like for like almost like 10-15 years that FXCFD industry is dying.
I think it's growing.
But yes, but it's not actually, so it's dying, it's growing,
I agree.
and it's migrating from one region to another, but it is still developing. We observed this like for few years, so we observed this like kind of prop trading. So the new product which brought more clients to the industry. I wouldn't comment like if is it like or not good. I think it depends on the how the companies manage that and how the brokers like will operate this product. Each product you can operate in the fair way and the unfair way. Regarding technology, we see like a lot of new platforms, so they are like running in like Kubernetes, and I would expect that there will be some like Kubernetes in Equinix to bring that
For the
latency
users
down.
that are not very technical, what's Kubernetes?
It's just a system to how to how let's
Automation.
no,
I
no,
guess
no.
is the right word, no?
There is a like concept called like cloud native, which like it's when you develop app specifically for the cloud. And this is the Kubernetes. This is the system that operates the cloud. And by if you develop your uh, application as cloud native, here you can scale it, you can operate in the cloud properly. Because like the old applications like MetaTrader, they are not really like cloud native, and you cannot like and you cannot get client cloud benefit out of it.
I understand.
And yeah, and we see like the some like providers, so they provide like the Kubernetes on the bare metal in order to, and I would expect more, let's say, either cloud being bring into the Equinix, or more brokers to operate if they operate their own platform, so they they will do the hybrid approach with like bare metal plus cloud. This is technology wise. I would expect more the growing infrastructure in Asia, because all of the crypto volume in Asia and a lot of emerging like businesses operating there.
So, what is the one piece of advice you'd give to brokers looking to modernize their infrastructure next year?
Basically, to the common approach, the general advice is to understand of what want to achieve.
Very good.
Because yes, I've seen a couple of examples that broker doing going to the cloud just because
It's the cloud.
it is the cloud. Yes, and they say like we will get savings. Yes, we will we will reduce our cost, but it's not. It's common misconception. When you like go to the cloud, your cost will increase 3 times.
I had, you know what? But I must say, that was like 6 years ago. I had a conversation with someone telling me, well, you can do fast, like you can go, your latency from London to New York will be less if you do it in the cloud because it's in the cloud. And you go, it's the speed of light. Like you
Yes.
can't go faster than the speed, you know, and you have to have those conversations because the laws of physics are still in the way, you know.
Yeah, people they don't understand. They like hear some buzzwords, but they don't understand the foundations, and they don't understand the applicability of each part. So, like my general advice is to when you decide to do something, just think kind of backwards and try to understand why you really need that.
And call FastMT if you're unaware
Yes.
what the cloud is and you need any help explaining the concepts, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you very much, Aytugan. I think that's been really insightful and it's a great pleasure to chat to you as always.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. And looking forward to seeing you in the next podcast.